Well, hello everybody. We're here today. It's the 12th of June, 2025. We're in Belgrade and we're on the sidelines of a very significant conference taking place where we're talking about CBAM, the EU's carbon border adjustment mechanism. And the conference today has brought together stakeholders really from everywhere, the whole Western Balkans region, as well as speakers from the European Commission in Brussels, as well as people from the Energy Secretariat, the Secretariat of the Energy Community and Industry. So everybody has come today to talk about how the Western Balkans can be ready for CBAM. The first keynote speaker of the day was the Serbian Minister for External and Internal Trade. And with me now is her special advisor, Sandra Dokic, a lady who has really a lot of experience in environmental matters. Previous to her current role, she was the State Secretary in the Ministry for Environment. And so she's had a lot of time over a number of years to think about CBAM, environmental protection issues, and so forth. And so welcome, Sandra. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
I know you're going to speak on a panel after lunch, but I wanted to pick up on what we heard from the Minister this morning. A key thing which really landed with me when she spoke was, she said, a share of CBAM revenues should be allocated to Serbia and its regional neighbours to finance decarbonisation, industrial modernisation, and workforce reskilling. And with that, she's really given an indication of there's a lot of work still to be done. Could you perhaps summarise for us what the plan is from the side of the Serbian government and the rough timeline for how that's going to unfold?
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I really enjoying in this conference. I think it's really important that we have so many good panelists here. We could hear some information from the Brussels, and what is important, they really think that we will, in a short period of time, meet all their expectation. And it's good also to hear the people from the companies, and they are really, they have some uncertainties because we are waiting some legislation to be in place because all the calculations and everything what the government wanted to set up as a response to the CBAM, we really need to be sure that it will be applicable and that the Brussels will recognize as a really good measure in order to accept that we have the good activity and that the government did everything what was in a situation to establish the system, to have the trade ongoing, to not see that as an obstacle, but to be realistic and applicable. Why that is important? Because we are aware that some panelists mention ETS system, emission trading system. That is something what is really demanding. That is something what we need to be aware that we need a couple of years from now. Even having in mind that in my previous role where I was responsible for the climate policy, we established monitoring, reporting, verification, and accreditation system. What is the first step to establish ETS system? Also, the law on climate change need to be changed because we transpose only the provision of the directive related with the MRVA. So it will take time. If we want to have ETS system in place in order to respond to the CBAM is going to be late because CBAM is from the January 26. That's why we as a government, we are working on a really important analysis because it's easy to conclude that actually carbon tax is something what is applicable in a short period of time. That's why we need the rest of legislation from the Brussels. in order to calculate the price of the CBAM in order to be deductible, because that is something what the companies has expectation. We cannot agree that the CBAM is just a matter of goods. It is the matter of the Serbia and the companies, because it's easy to conclude that a lot of companies, they expect that they will get some subsidies from the state, and that we will somehow cover everything what will be their additional cost, and that is for sure CBAM. That's why it's important to have the government official here on this conference, the companies and the region, because this is not only the national problem, it's a regional problem, and we can agree on that. So when we introduce the carbon tax only for the few years, we will intensify our activities regarding to ETS, because that is something what is inevitable, because we are the candidate country, and the ETS system should be in place from the moment when we become the member of the EU. And we know that that is a long-standing process. So that's why we need to intensify our activities, and for that is responsible Ministry of Environmental Protection. And they are aware that it's a time-consuming process, and that's why they want to have the response as soon as possible. How we will phase in ETS system, but parallelly we will have the carbon tax on board.
Right.
Yes.
So the immediate work that you're doing is to get in place the legislative framework to introduce a carbon tax in Serbia from the 1st of January 2026. That's correct?
Yes, that is our intention. And we plan in such a short period of time, because it's going to be really busy summer for consultant and the government officials. We want to finish everything within the few months, and to have in place the carbon tax from the 26th.
Right.
Yes.
And thinking ahead, what sort of time frame after the carbon tax is introduced is involved in eventually getting to an ETS?
Yes, that is a parallel process. We are working on the ETS. We will, in the meantime, change the law on climate change to transpose the rest of the provision from the directive in order to establish ETS. That is something what is in a process so far, and it's good that we have a MRVA system. We will have operators with greenhouse gas permits. When they request to obtain the permit, they submit their monitoring plans. They will monitor the emissions from January till December this year, and they will report about emissions. And also we will have our verificators who will verify all the emissions. So this first and really important step we already made. So we just need to continue forward ETS, the full implementation of the ETS. We will see about the national ETS, but maybe is realistic to start to think about EU ETS. That is something what we at this moment think it's also option, but okay, we need to be really aware how difficult process is to establish ETS. Even for the Switzerland, they needed almost 6 years for full implementation of the EU ETS. So we need to be aware of it.
So there's work to be done on many sides, on the part of industry to essentially decarbonize, because otherwise their businesses won't remain financially viable, on the work of the Serbian government and the Western Balkan countries' governments, but also on the part of the EU institutions, the European Commission. They still have a lot of things to put in place to get the systems up and running and to give you the information you need to do your work. So it's really everybody working together. Mm-hmm. I think a conference like today is a wonderful opportunity for interactions, for everybody to understand that they play a role and we all have to work together to get to that endpoint, which is ultimately reducing carbon emissions and protecting the planet for the future. Some final thoughts?
Yes, the climate policy is really ambitious. We are aware of that, and that's why we have so many strategic documents law in place. And we are following everything what is related with the climate policy, not only to the EU, but also UNFCCC. You know, we are the member. We also have our national defined contribution. We are working on the third one. So we are increasing our ambition to decrease the GHG emissions. So that is something what they can easily see how we are dedicated to this process to be carbon neutral also, like the Europe has ambition. But we have to be aware that we are in this process, the decarbonization process, let's say recently, not so many years, like in EU. More than 20 years, they're thinking about decarbonization, that we need a lot of investments. That's why it's really important for the Western Balkan to unlock all those funds they already have in place and they use for decarbonization if we want to be at the same level. And the CBAM is something what is really a mechanism which will put us at the same level. So that's why it's important to have interaction with them. They can listen us, they can hear all our concerns and react on that. So that's why it's important to be here. Decarbonization fund is something what is also the part of analysis. So we will see how it will functioning, because the industry really thinks that if they pay some tax, it should be come back to them. But it's important also for industry to know that they need to have prepared project, decarbonization project. Yes. Maybe that is something what will I try to highlight during the panel, because there is not we do not have plenty of time. So now they start to work on their decarbonization project if they want really to finance through this decarbonization fund.
I think those are all strong and important messages. Let's hope that everybody who's been here today is inspired. This takes away the energy to just get on with things quickly.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank you, Sandra, for joining us. Sandra Dokic, Special Advisor to the Serbian Minister for Internal and External Trade. Thank you for being with us today, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Annie. It was a pleasure.